हाय स्टुडंट, मी प्राध्यापक सवाईकर. मी तुमच्यासाठी खूप महत्त्वाचा टॉपिक घेऊन आलेलो आहो आणि बेसिकली हा टॉपिक जो काही आपल्याला डिस्कस करायचा आहे तो आपल्या मदर टंगमध्ये म्हणजे मराठीमध्ये मी मुद्दामून घेतलेला आहे. कारण बोर्ड ऑफ महाराष्ट्राने 12th स्टँडर्डसाठी जो पहिला चॅप्टर डिझाईन करण्यात आला तो रिप्रोडक्शनचा आहे. जे पहिल्यांदा रिप्रोडक्शनचे आस्पेक्ट आपल्याला चांगल्या पद्धतीमध्ये लक्षात घ्यायचे आहेत आणि मग समोरचे जे स्पेसिफिक टॉपिक आहे जसे की बा रिप्रोडक्शन इन लोअर अँड हायर प्लांट असा पहिला चॅप्टर आहे आणि सोबत तुम्हाला सेकंड चॅप्टर देण्यात आलेला कंपॅरेटिव्ह तो आहे रिप्रोडक्शन इन लोअर अँड हायर ॲनिमल्स. ठीक आहे. आता कन्सेप्ट बघा किती इझी भाषेमध्ये आपल्याला लक्षात घ्यायचा आहे. हा टॉपिक जो आहे हा नीट CET आणि बोर्डसाठी आवश्यक टॉपिक आहे. प्लांट फिजिओलॉजीचा टॉपिक आहे. याच्यामध्ये जी ॲक्टिव्हिटी किंवा जी सगळ्यात महत्त्वाची कॅरेक्टरिस्टिक डिस्कस करण्यात येत आहे ती आहे रिप्रोडक्शन. काय असतं रिप्रोडक्शन आणि कशासाठी रिप्रोडक्शन केलं जातं, त्याच्यानंतर ऑर्गॅनिझम रिप्रोडक्शन करण्यामागचा त्यांचा हेतू काय असतो, या सगळ्या गोष्टीचे आन्सर, त्याचं सिग्निफिकन्स काय, या सगळ्या गोष्टीचा आन्सर आपल्याला या लेक्चरमध्ये आपल्याला समजणार. मी पहिला भाग जो आहे इंट्रोडक्टरी भाग जो आहे मराठी लँग्वेजमध्ये तुमच्यासाठी मुद्दामून डिझाईन केलेला आहे. बघा कोणत्याही ऑर्गॅनिझमचा एक विशिष्ट पद्धतीमध्ये तो ऑर्गॅनिझमचा लाईफ स्पॅन असतो. मी त्याला घेऊनच थोडंसं समजावून सांगत आहे की इथं मी तुम्हाला सांगितलं की एव्हरी ऑर्गॅनिझम पृथ्वीवर तुम्हाला माहीत आहे की ऑन अर्थ नंबर ऑफ ऑर्गॅनिझम्स आर देअर. आउट ऑफ दॅट वी जस्ट गोइंग टू टेक द प्लांट अँड ॲनिमल ॲज अ ऑर्गॅनिझम. नंबर ऑफ प्लांट्स दॅट इज प्रेझेंट इन द वॉटर ॲज वेल ॲज ऑन द लँड. तर हे जे ऑर्गॅनिझम आहे हे ऑर्गॅनिझम जे आहेत यांचा एक लाईफ स्पॅन असतो. काय असतो लाईफ स्पॅन की इट लाईफ फॉर सर्टन पिरियड ऑफ टाइम दॅट वी कॉल एज लाईफ स्पॅन. ठीक आहे. आता हा जो लाईफ स्पॅन असतो हा ॲक्च्युअलमध्ये लाईफ स्पॅन कशाला म्हणायचा, लाईफ स्पॅन काय असतो म्हणजे मी जन्माला आलो तर माझा लाईफ स्पॅन काय आहे, तर माझा लाईफ स्पॅन माझ्या मरणापर्यंतचा जो काही पिरियड जो काही असेल त्याला लाईफ स्पॅन म्हटलं जातं. इथं सुद्धा मी तुम्हाला ते सांगायचा प्रयत्न केलेला आहे की बर्थ आणि डेथ मधलं जे काही विशिष्ट पद्धतीचा पिरियड आहे त्याला म्हटलं जातं लाईफ स्पॅन. आता साहजिक आहे की या लाईफ स्पॅनमध्ये अशी गोष्ट होते की कुठंतरी मॅच्युरिटी होऊन जाते. मनुष्याचं उदाहरण घेतलं तर फिमेलमध्ये जी सेक्शुअल मॅच्युरिटी म्हणू आपण त्याला, ती जी मॅच्युरिटी आहे एज ऑफ 12 और 13ला जी आहे त्यांच्यामध्ये मेन्स्ट्रुएशन चालू होऊन जाते आणि मोनोपॉज हा जवळपास 45 वर्षी जे आहे 43 ते 45 वर्षी जे आहे ते मोनोपॉज त्यांच्यामध्ये लागत असते. ठीक आहे, मी टेंटेटिव्ह सांगत आहे. आता एक लक्षात घ्या, तो झाला त्यांचा रिप्रोडक्टिव्ह एज किंवा मॅच्युरिटीचा पिरियड आपण कन्सिडर करून मॅच्युरिटी अटेंड केली त्याला मेनार्च असं म्हटलं जातं आणि जिथं रिप्रोडक्टिव्ह कॅपॅसिटी त्यांच्यामध्ये लॉस केली त्याला मोनोपॉज असं म्हटलं जातं. असं प्रत्येक ऑर्गॅनिझममध्ये रिप्रोडक्टिव्ह एज असते ज्याच्यामध्ये स्वतःच्या प्रोजेनीला जन्माला घालण्याची कॅपॅसिटी त्यांच्यामध्ये आलेली असते, त्याला मॅच्युरिटी असं म्हटलं जातं. काय म्हटलं जातं, मॅच्युरिटी. व्हॉट इज मॅच्युरिटी डिफाईन करून सांगायचं आहे, इट इज अक्वायर्ड ऑर्गॅनिझम अक्वायर्ड द एबिलिटी ऑफ रिप्रोडक्शन. म्हणजे या काळामध्ये त्याला रिप्रोडक्टिव्ह एज म्हणू शकतो तुम्ही. ठीक आहे. बाळांनो लक्षात घ्या की लाईफ स्पॅन सगळ्याच ऑर्गॅनिझम मध्ये सारखा नसतो. काही ऑर्गॅनिझम मध्ये जो लाईफ स्पॅन आहे तो शॉर्ट असतो, तर काही ऑर्गॅनिझम मध्ये लाईफ स्पॅन जो आहे तो तुम्हाला कसा पाहायला मिळतो, थोडासा मोठा पाहायला मिळतो. जसं की इथं उदाहरण म्हणून दिलेलं आहे. बघा आता तुम्हाला उदाहरण म्हणून दिलेलं आहे, उदाहरण असं आहे की बघा लाईफ स्पॅन दिलेलं आहे. मग लाईफ स्पॅन काय आहे, तर काही जणांचा लाईफ स्पॅन जो आहे तो शॉर्ट आहे आणि काही जणांचा लाईफ स्पॅन कसा आहे तो तुम्हाला पाहायला मिळतो. काही जणांचा शॉर्ट, काही जणांचा लॉंग. आता खूप सारे ऑर्गॅनिझम आहे त्यांच्यामध्ये लाईफ स्पॅन कमी जास्त आहे. ठीक आहे. आता शॉर्ट आहे तर काही उदाहरण आपल्याला डिस्कस करायची. बघ यांचा जो लाईफ स्पॅन असतो काही मिनिटाचा असू शकतो, काही मिनिटापासून काही दिवसाचा सुद्धा असू शकतो. इट इज अ रेंज फ्रॉम basically few minutes to the days. Okay. We have the good examples are given here. Bacteria and some insect are there. They just live for few hours, few minutes, few hours, few days. That is basically the lifespan that you know. Long as you know that few years, to thousands of years that you consider that having the lifespan of some important organism. When we just go for the elephant having the lifespan that is 60 to 75 years. That is the lifespan of the organism elephant. It is the largest terrestrial organism that you find on the earth. Then the dog having the lifespan of 25 years. When we just go for the crow having the lifespan of 15 years. When we just go for the parrot having the lifespan of 140 years. You get surprised to hear that. Then mango tree having the lifespan that is 20, basically 15 to 25 years in between them. But when we just round that people tree having the lifespan that is about more than thousands of years. 2000 to 4000 is given in the book, but I just write here it is more than thousands of years. Get it? So this is the lifespan. Means it clearly mentioned that all organism life was several from few minutes to the thousands of years. But the most important thing is that size is not the matter. Organism size is not related with their basically lifespan. When we just consider the size matter, here the two important things that I highlight. This crow and parrot having the similar type of body dimensions both are birds, both having the similar type of weight. But when I go for the lifespan of both, the crow just having 15 years lifespan, but when we just go for parrot, it is about 140 years of lifespan that you find. So it is the vast difference that you find there. When we just go for the tree of mango and the people, though they having this similar morphological features are there, but still that having the different types of lifespan. See? Then we just focus our attention on this particular one. On Earth, was variety or was diversity that is existed last from the thousands of years. Dear student, it quite be interesting to know that from the thousands of years the life diversity that you find on the Earth, it may be bacteria, it may be protists, it may be fungi, plant or animals. But what is the reason they are still alive on the earth? Because of the most important process that ensure the continuity of life. I just want to highlight this particular type of topic here, that is continuity. What is that? Continuity of life. And this continuity is mentioned basically maintained by some process here. That process ensure the continuity of life that we called as reproduction. Now this is actually the point that we want to discuss here. Reproduction is an important process. It ensures the continuity of life. Due to that, the bacteria, protists, fungi, plants, animals, these all are exist on the earth today. So basically look at that, the reproduction, we just try to take the definition of this particular one. Reproduction is defined as it is the ability of organism which give the birth to their own kind. It is basically the process or ability of organism which give the birth to their own kind. That is the definition of reproduction that you know. There are two kinds of reproduction that we are going to discuss here. These are basically sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction. So you just write down this particular type of concept. Hopefully you just get at this point. Very easiest type of point discussion. You just start to write in your notebook. After that I go for the next important part, that is sexual and asexual reproduction. बेटा लिखना होगा नाउ. Now we just move to the next important point, that is reproduction. Having two major sites are there: A, asexual, and B, that is sexual reproduction. Out of that, we just make highlight on this particular one, what is asexual reproduction. Simply, we just try to take the very simple type of definition. Easiest definition: the reproduction is take place without fertilization, without participation of sperm and ova. So simply I just try to draw the diagram here, that is sperm and this is ova. There is no fusion of the sperm and ovaries take place, still the organisms are formed. So this is basically the asexual reproduction. There is no participation. You just highlight your important thing. There is no participation. Without participation of the sperm and ova, the organisms are formed. So basically, asexual reproduction that you ever find in case of the lower organism, lower plant, and the lower basically animals. So we're just going to discuss that part in the detail. We're just going to discuss that types of asexual reproduction here. So what are the different types of asexual reproduction that you know? Here we go for the types. We just try to write that this part. Now we just move to the types of asexual reproduction. Types. Several types are there that you find among the lower organism. First one is the binary fission. Second one that you know, that is budding. Then basically you know, that is fragmentation. Then conidia formation. Then conidia formation. Then spore formation. Then we are going to discuss the part J-wheel formation. Then we go for the another method, that is regeneration. Apart from that, vegetative propagation. So these are the methods that we are going to discuss today and make the highlight on this particular one. So these are the types of asexual reproduction that we are going to discuss today, that is binary fission, then the budding, then the fragmentation, conidia formation, spore formation, gamete formation, regeneration, vegetative propagations are there. So these are the points. that we're going to discuss today. These are very important type of asexual reproduction that you find among the organism. Here we just try to take this example here. That is example having the name binary fission. This binary fission is very common among the protists and bacteria. It is very common among the bacteria. Here what happened? One mother cell is developed into two identical cells. These are genetically identical. Mother cell to form the daughter cell. These both cells are genetically identical. Genetically and morphologically identical. So this is basically the process that you also find in case of the basically amoeba, entamoeba, etc. Then we just going to move to the next important point, that is a budding. We have moved to the next important types here, that is budding. What is budding? Budding is very commonly seen among the very well-known organism that you know. This is the yeast, and you also know the another examples are here that I just try to draw the diagram here, that is Hydra. In this particular organisms, what happened? There is a exogenous birds are basically produced here, and this particular type of birds, when they get detached from that, it develop into the new individuals. This is basically the process of asexual reproduction. There are several endogenous, exogenous type of bird formation that basically take place in the among the organisms are there. But the most important thing is that in case of binary fission, budding, and the fragmentation, conidia formation, spore formation, genetically, morphologically, and genetically organisms are basically produced there. So we just move to the next important point, that is the fragmentation. This one, this two is one. Now we just have to move to the next important point, that is fragmentation. Examples are spirogyre. Most of you are quite aware with this particular type of algae, spirogyre. It is the one of the type of filamentous algae that you know. What happened? This basically, as the name indicates, that this is basically a subtype of asexual reproduction, in which what happened? This mother body get basically converted into the fragment, and this fragment is developed into the new individuals. Such type of thing is happened there. So this is the method of asexual reproduction, and genetically identical organisms are formed. Now we just move to the next important one, that is conidia formation. Conidia formation that you find among the organism fungi, penicillium. Penicillium is the organism that you know. What happened? There is a formation of conidia. This is the type of structure that you find. This is we call as conidia. This conidia is the vegetative body formed there. This get on detached from this particular one. It developed into the new important individuals. So this is one of the methods of asexual reproduction. Then we go for the next one. This is one of the most important antibiotic that is discovered. It is a broad spectrum antibiotic that you know. That is not a part of discussion. Then the spore formation that you found, that is Chlamydomonas. In case of Chlamydomonas, there is a formation of the zoospore cells within the mother body that you find. this particular type of spore get basically hatched from this particular one. It is freely moved to the respective site. When they got the suitable site, it developed into the mature organism. Then we just move to the next important point. This is the example of chlamydomonas that we discuss in under the heading basically spore formation. Now just we move to the next important point, that is a gemule formation. Which one? Gemule formation. This point having so much importance. This is basically commonly found among the coelenterates and basically in the freshwater sponges. Here I just take the example of Spongiella. Spongiella is the organism sponge that I take here, in which what happened, basically in the Indian regions what happened, inside the pond only the water only just stay only for 6 months period. After that this particular type of pond get dry. Due to the dry nature what happened, there is no availability of the water is available in that particular type of pond. So after that this particular type of organism undergo the process that we call as the gemule formation. Here the gemule formation, they just go for the gemule formation. It is one of the type of dormant state that you know. So gemule formation is one of the important thing that we are going to discuss here, in which what happened, freshwater sponges form the dormant stage there, gemule formation. So what happened here, I just try to draw the typical diagram of that particular sponges. This is basically the structure. It just form the mycin chitinous, sorry. It consists of number of archocyte cells within that. Archocyte along with amoebocyte. Amoebocyte cells secrete the specific type of secretion outside this particular type of body. When they got the unfavorable condition, this is made up of chitinous. Coating. It just protect them from the extreme environmental condition for 6 to 8 months. Then the part of regeneration for the discussion. The regeneration is very common among the basically organism that you know, like planaria. Planaria having the high power of regeneration. If that organism get damaged, then it just develop into the number of organisms. Here I just going to draw the diagram of this particular one. Regeneration. Suppose we consider that this is the planaria. You just consider that part. Planaria. When we just make the cut here, each piece is developed into the similar type of organism. And then after that we have the major point for the discussion here, vegetative propagation, that we discuss later. So these are the asexual type of reproductions are there, in which what happens, genetically identical organisms are formed. Thank you very much for watching this lecture.